Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue surrounding Jason Morgan's risky alliance with Valentin Cassadine and the potential consequences this partnership might bring to Port Charles. Carly's unwavering commitment. Carly Spencer has become more devoted than ever to her new romantic interest, creating a concerning situation for those who care about her. Despite warnings from friends and family, she remains steadfast in her feelings, refusing to entertain any doubts about her relationship choices. Her determination has reached such heights that she's completely shutting out Jason's concerns, along with anyone else who might question her judgment regarding her new love interest. This stubborn stance puts Carly in a particularly vulnerable position, especially considering the looming threats connected to Jack Brennan. As events unfold, there's a genuine worry that she might become collateral damage in Jack's next strategic move. The question remains whether Jason will find a way to navigate through Carly's cemented feelings in time to protect her from becoming an unintended victim in this dangerous game of power and revenge. Anna's potential interference. The developing alliance between Jason and Valentin creates a complex situation that could draw Anna Devane into the conflict. As this shadow partnership forms to dismantle Jack's operation, Anna finds herself in a precarious position, potentially caught between protecting Jason, her newfound friend, and Valentin, with whom she shares a complicated romantic history. This dynamic trio presents a fascinating power struggle, with Anna's loyalties divided between two men who rarely see eye to eye. Her WSB background and investigative instincts might lead her to discover their covert operations, forcing her to make difficult choices about where her allegiances truly lie. Will she support their mission to expose Jack, or will her professional ethics compel her to intervene? Her involvement could either strengthen their efforts or completely derail their plans, adding another layer of uncertainty to an already volatile situation. The dangerous alliance. Jason Morgan and Valentin Cassadine represent an unlikely but potentially formidable partnership. Jason brings his unwavering loyalty and physical prowess to the table, while Valentin contributes his strategic brilliance and insider knowledge of the WSB's operations. Together, they possess the capabilities to potentially bring down Jack's entire operation within the federal agency. However, this alliance is built on shaky ground. Valentin's Cassadine heritage makes him inherently untrustworthy, as deception runs deep in his family's history. The possibility of betrayal looms large once Jack is neutralized. Will Valentin turn on Jason to further his own agenda? This concern might be amplified by Sonny Corinthos, who would naturally harbor suspicions about Valentin's true motives and the potential fallout for his longtime friend and enforcer. The question of whether Jason will come to regret this partnership becomes more pressing as they delve deeper into their conspiracy. If Valentin is indeed playing a more elaborate game, or if Jack's apparent feelings for Carly trigger a more extensive conflict, Jason could find himself in an untenable position with limited escape routes. The deeper he becomes entangled with Valentin's machinations, the harder it becomes to extract himself without serious consequences. Valentin's shocking revelations. Valentin has been systematically sharing critical intelligence with Jason, fundamentally altering the latter's understanding of the threat they face. His most startling claim positions Jack Brennan not merely as the WSB Port Charles station chief but potentially as the shadowy figure controlling the entire organization from behind the scenes. This revelation significantly elevates the stakes, transforming Jack from a local authority figure into a global threat with far-reaching influence and resources. Jason, despite his extensive experience with power players in Port Charles, must now recalibrate his approach to contend with an adversary whose reach extends far beyond the city limits. Even more intriguing is Valentin's assertion regarding Jack's personal motivations. According to him, Jack was prepared to eliminate Valentin following Carly's injury, suggesting that Jack harbors deep personal feelings for her. This emotional component adds another dimension to the conflict, particularly given Jason's own complicated history with Carly. The revelation strikes particularly close to home for Jason, who has always maintained a special bond with his bestie. Jason's dangerous territory. Jason Morgan finds himself venturing into exceptionally perilous territory by forming an alliance with Valentin Cassadine. This partnership, while potentially beneficial in the short term, carries significant risks that could have lasting repercussions for everyone involved. Valentin has delivered a series of shocking revelations to Jason, beginning with his theory about Jack Brennan's true position within the WSB. According to Valentin, Jack isn't merely the Port Charles station chief but potentially the mastermind controlling the entire organization. This information dramatically changes the scope of the threat Jason must confront. Perhaps more personally affecting for Jason is Valentin's claim that Jack was willing to eliminate him out of a desire for vengeance related to Carly Spencer's injuries. This suggests Jack may have genuine romantic feelings for Carly, adding a complex emotional dimension to an already dangerous situation. For Jason, who shares a deep and enduring connection with Carly, this revelation hits particularly close to home. As Jason delves deeper into this alliance with Valentin, the question becomes whether this partnership will prove to be his salvation or his downfall. Will their combined efforts protect Carly and Port Charles from Jack's machinations? Or will Jason find himself regretting this decision when Valentin's true agenda eventually comes to light? Only time will tell if this enemy of my enemy approach will yield the desired results or leave Jason vulnerable to betrayal from multiple directions. Next, we will learn about the issues surrounding Christina Corinthos Davis and her ongoing vendetta against Ava Jerome, which appears to be heading toward a dangerous climax that could leave many lives changed forever. Potential consequences of vengeance. Christina's decision to pursue revenge against Ava Jerome might soon lead to devastating consequences that she never anticipated. During the week of March 24th to 28th, we'll witness Christina losing control once again when Ava somehow provokes her anger. This confrontation will trigger Christina to hunt down Ava with the intention of verbally attacking her, but the situation could escalate far beyond harsh words. The intense emotions driving Christina's actions will likely cloud her judgment, resulting in a decision she'll immediately regret. This regret suggests her actions could have severe repercussions, perhaps causing serious harm to Ava that might land Christina in legal trouble. The possibility of facing imprisonment would certainly explain the profound regret she's expected to experience. The complex relationship with Avery. Another concerning possibility is that Christina's reckless behavior might inadvertently harm Avery Corinthos, Ava's daughter. Such a tragic accident would devastate Christina, especially considering her claims that everything she's doing is to honor her own lost child. The irony would be unbearable if her quest for vengeance resulted in harming another innocent child. Christina has repeatedly expressed her belief that Ava deserves punishment for allegedly pushing her out of a window, resulting in the loss of her baby. However, General Hospital viewers know this isn't what actually happened, creating a dramatic disconnect between Christina's perception and reality. Enablers and voice of reason. The situation has been exacerbated by those around Christina who have enabled her destructive behavior rather than helping her confront the truth. Ava attempted to enlist Alexis Davis, Christina's mother, to address her daughter's irrational conduct, but it seems her pleas fell on deaf ears. Too many people in Port Charles have allowed Christina's emotional spiral to continue unchecked. Lucky Spencer stands out as one of the few who tried to reason with Christina, suggesting that her daughter would want her to find peace rather than pursue this vengeful path. Despite his efforts, Christina remains convinced that revenge is her only option. Ava's counterattack. Adding fuel to this volatile situation, Ava will soon issue a threat of her own. This escalation could push Christina to take even more extreme measures, potentially creating a dangerous cycle of retaliation between the two women. If Christina becomes the target of Ava's threat, she might feel justified in taking actions that cross legal and moral boundaries. The reality versus perception. What makes this situation particularly tragic is that Christina's entire vendetta is based on a misperception. While she continues to claim that Ava deliberately pushed her out of a window, causing her miscarriage, viewers know this version of events is distorted. This fundamental misunderstanding drives Christina's increasingly erratic behavior. Predictions and warnings. Christina has been making ominous predictions about Ava's fate ever since the court failed to convict her. These dark prophecies suggest that Christina may have already contemplated taking justice into her own hands in ways that could prove catastrophic for everyone involved. The spoilers indicate that Christina has more messes ahead, suggesting that whatever transpires in the coming days will not resolve the situation but rather complicate it further. The consequences of her actions will likely ripple through Port Charles, affecting not just Ava and Avery, but potentially her own family as well. The psychological impact. Christina's inability to process her grief in a healthy manner has transformed her into someone consumed by revenge. This transformation raises questions about her mental health and whether she might need professional intervention rather than the enabling behavior she's received from many around her. The profound regret she's expected to feel might finally serve as the wake-up call she needs to recognize how far she's strayed from her true self. Sometimes, it takes hitting rock bottom to begin the journey toward healing and redemption. As we continue to follow this intense storyline, we'll see whether Christina can pull back from the brink before causing irreparable harm to herself and others. The coming episodes promise dramatic developments that will test Christina's character and potentially change the trajectory of her life forever. Next, we're diving deep into the fascinating transformation happening on General Hospital with McKenna stepping into the role of Brennan. This casting change has sparked considerable discussion among fans, and we're here to break down all the details, controversies, and future possibilities that lie ahead for this character and the talented actor behind him. The unexpected transition, from Measure to McKenna. When February brought us McKenna's debut as Brennan, replacing the previously established Charles Measure, the General Hospital viewership collectively gasped. The transition wasn't just a simple actor swap, it represented a complete reimagining of the character that has left many fans reeling and adjusting to this new reality. The visual contrast between the two actors is immediately striking. Measure brought a particular energy and physical presence to Brennan that had become familiar to loyal viewers. His rugged appearance and commanding demeanor had established certain expectations for the character. McKenna, on the other hand, presents a distinctly different aesthetic and energy, not better or worse, but undeniably different. The casting change felt like meeting someone you've known for years, but they suddenly have a completely different face and personality, commented one longtime viewer on the GH fan forum. It takes time to reconcile that this is supposed to be the same person we've been following. This type of recasting isn't unprecedented in the soap opera world, where character continuity often trumps actor consistency, but it nevertheless requires a period of adjustment for the audience to embrace the new incarnation of a familiar character. The accent controversy. Australia disappears from Port Charles. While visual differences were expected with the recasting, perhaps nothing shocked viewers more than the sudden disappearance of Brennan's Australian accent. This linguistic transformation became the talk of social media, with fans expressing everything from confusion to disappointment to curiosity about the creative decision. McKenna recently took to X, formerly Twitter, to address this elephant in the room, revealing some fascinating behind-the-scenes information. In a candid post, he shared, "Fun fact, I do all kinds of accents including Aussie. When I was cast there was discussion about using an accent, but ultimately TPTB, the powers that be, decided to let me be me." This revelation adds an intriguing layer to the situation. McKenna wasn't incapable of maintaining the character's established accent. In fact, he has previously demonstrated his ability to convincingly perform with an Australian accent in other roles. The decision to drop the accent was deliberate, coming from the production team rather than being a limitation of the actor. "I spent 3 months working with a dialect coach for a film where I played an Australian character," McKenna elaborated in another social media exchange with a curious fan. "So I definitely could have continued with Brennan's established speech pattern, but after discussions with the directors and producers, we collectively decided to take the character in a slightly different direction." Some fans have speculated that this might eventually be explained within the show's narrative. Perhaps Brennan was faking the accent all along as part of his WSB cover? Others suggest it might be addressed through a throwaway line about speech therapy or simply never mentioned at all, as is sometimes the case with soap opera recasting adjustments. Finding his footing, McKenna's growing chemistry with the cast. Despite the initial shock of the transition, McKenna has been steadily winning over skeptics with his compelling performances, particularly in his scenes with Laura Wright, who portrays the beloved character Carly Corinthos. Their on-screen relationship has become a focal point for viewers assessing the new Brennan. The passionate encounter between Brennan and Carly that recently played out on screen demonstrated a sizzling chemistry that surprised even those resistant to the recasting. McKenna brought a vulnerability and intensity to these intimate scenes that added new dimensions to Brennan's character. Even more impressive were the emotional hospital bedside scenes following Carly's poisoning crisis. McKenna displayed remarkable range, shifting from frantic concern to tender care to determined protection. These moments of crisis revealed layers to Brennan that perhaps hadn't been fully explored before. I approached those hospital scenes thinking about what it means to potentially lose someone you've unexpectedly developed feelings for, McKenna shared in a recent interview with Soap Opera Digest. There's the terrible guilt of wondering if your presence in their life somehow contributed to their danger, mixed with the desperate hope that you'll get a chance to explore what could have been. It's complex emotional territory that was really rewarding to dive into. The WSB, World Security Bureau, storylines have also provided McKenna with opportunities to showcase different facets of Brennan. His confrontations with Valentin Cassadine revealed a darker, more menacing side to the character, a calculating agent capable of intimidation and strategic maneuvering. Playing those more sinister notes is always fun, McKenna admitted. Finding the balance between Brennan's genuine feelings for Carly and his potentially questionable motives and methods as a WSB operative creates this wonderful tension that I'm enjoying exploring. Contract status, the uncertainty of recurring roles. As McKenna continues to establish himself in Port Charles, many fans have wondered about his long-term prospects on the show. In response to direct questions about his contract status, McKenna has confirmed that he is currently on a recurring basis with General Hospital rather than holding a contract position. This revelation has sparked both concern and speculation among the viewership. Recurring status typically indicates a less secure position, with the character potentially written in and out of storylines as needed rather than being guaranteed consistent screen time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to join the GH family in any capacity, McKenna diplomatically stated when pressed about whether he hopes for a contract. Right now, I'm focused on doing justice to the character and the storylines I've been given. The rest is in the hands of the producers and what they envision for Brennan's future in Port Charles. Industry insiders note that it's not uncommon for actors to begin in recurring roles before being offered contracts if their characters resonate with audiences. The show's producers often use this approach to test chemistry and audience reception before making longer-term commitments. Several fan campaigns have already emerged on social media with hashtags like #ContractForChris and #KeepBrennanInPC, demonstrating that despite the initial adjustment period, McKenna has developed a supportive following who wish to see his role expanded and secured. The artistic choice, why authenticity won over continuity. Returning to the accent decision, McKenna elaborated on why he believes dropping the Australian accent was ultimately the right creative choice, despite the jarring effect it had on continuity. Though understandably jarring to the audience, it was the right choice. "Forgive me, it'll be worth it," McKenna assured fans in his social media post. This cryptic statement has led to speculation that the accent change might actually be incorporated into future storylines. Could Brennan have been using a fake accent as part of a deeper cover? Is there more to his identity than has been revealed so far? Television critic Marissa Donovan offered this analysis: when recasting occurs, productions face a difficult choice between perfect continuity and allowing the new actor to bring their authentic strengths to the role. Sometimes maintaining every aspect of the previous portrayal forces the new actor into an imitation rather than an interpretation, which can result in a stilted performance. By allowing McKenna to use his natural voice, they're potentially sacrificing short-term continuity for long-term character development and performance quality. Several veteran soap actors have weighed in on the debate as well, with many supporting the decision to prioritize authentic performance over perfect continuity. As one anonymous daytime drama star put it, trying to mimic another actor's choices exactly is a recipe for disaster. The audience can sense when you're putting on a performance rather than inhabiting a character. Behind the scenes, the recasting process revealed. The decision to recast a character is never taken lightly in television production, particularly for established roles on long-running series.